Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something that's absolutely blowing my mind right now, Suno AI. If you haven't heard of it yet, you're in for a serious treat because this AI music generator is producing results that are, quite frankly, freakishly good. I've been testing it extensively over the past few weeks, and I'm still shocked every time I generate a new song. Let's dive into what makes this tool so revolutionary. So what exactly is Suno AI? Simply put, it's an artificial intelligence platform that can generate complete songs from text prompts. And I'm not talking about basic melodies or instrumentals. I mean full songs with vocals, lyrics, instrumentals, and production quality that sometimes rivals what you'd hear on the radio. The concept is pretty straightforward. You type in a description of the song you want, select a genre, and within seconds, Suno creates an original track based on your specifications. It sounds simple, but the results are anything but basic. What sets Suno apart from other AI music generators is the comprehensiveness of what it creates. We're not just getting a beat or a melody line. We're getting a fully arranged song with verses, choruses, bridges, and professional sounding production. The first time I used it, I genuinely couldn't believe what I was hearing. To appreciate just how impressive Suno is, it helps to understand how far AI music generation has come in recent years. Just a few years ago, AI music tools were extremely limited. They could create simple melodies or drum patterns, but nothing that resembled a complete song. Then came tools that could generate instrumental tracks, but they often sounded artificial and lacked the nuance and dynamics of human-created music. The vocals were an even bigger challenge. Earlier attempts at AI vocals were immediately recognizable as robotic and unnatural. Suno represents a quantum leap forward. The technology behind it combines advanced deep learning models trained on vast amounts of music data with sophisticated audio synthesis techniques. The result is something that crosses that uncanny valley. It's AI-generated music that sounds convincingly human in many aspects. Let me walk you through how it works. First, you create an account on Suno's website. The free tier gives you a limited number of generations per day, which is perfect for trying it out. The interface is super clean and intuitive. There's a text box where you enter your prompt. Your prompt can be as simple as an upbeat pop song about summer vacation, or as detailed as a melancholic indie folk ballad with acoustic guitar and female vocals about leaving your hometown with a hopeful bridge section. The more specific you are, the more tailored the result will be. After entering your prompt, you can select a genre like pop, rock, electronic, hip-hop, country, or several others. You can also choose between different versions of Suno's AI model, with the latest offering the best quality. Then you hit generate, and within about 30 seconds to a minute, you'll have a complete song. It's almost magical how quickly it happens. What's happening behind the scenes is incredibly complex. The AI is interpreting your textual prompt, understanding musical concepts like genre conventions, instrumentation, structure, harmony, melody, rhythm, and lyrical themes. It's then composing and arranging a piece of music that aligns with all these specifications, while maintaining musical coherence and emotional resonance. The fact that it can do all this in less than a minute is truly remarkable. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the quality. When I first heard about Suno, I was extremely skeptical. I've tried other AI music generators before, and while they were interesting technological demonstrations, the results always sounded obviously artificial and nowhere near professional quality. Suno completely shattered those expectations. The first song I generated was a rock track about road trips, and I literally had to sit back in my chair and process what I was hearing. The drums had punch and dynamics. The guitar parts were not only in key, but had the right playing style for the genre. The bass line complemented everything perfectly. But what really floored me was the vocals. The AI-generated singer had the appropriate style and delivery for rock music, with convincing emotion and phrasing. The lyrics followed my prompt, but expanded it into a complete song structure with verses, choruses, and even a bridge. There were subtle effects like reverb and delay applied to the vocals in a way that made sense musically. It wasn't perfect. There were a few slightly awkward phrasings in the lyrics, and occasionally the vocal timbre had that slight AI giveaway quality. But it was easily 90 to 95% of the way to something that could be on Spotify. The most impressive aspect might be how the music actually conveys emotion. I've generated sad songs that genuinely feel melancholic, upbeat tracks that are infectiously happy, and contemplative pieces that create a pensive mood. The AI seems to understand not just the technical aspects of music production, but the emotional language of music itself. Of course, I had to put Suno through its paces across different musical styles. I tried generating everything from dance tracks to country ballads to rap songs. The results were consistently impressive, though some genres seemed to yield better results than others. Electronic music was particularly strong. The AI seems to have a great grasp of modern production techniques, creating thumping beats with the right amount of sidechain compression, filter sweeps, and buildups that sounded legitimately club-ready. Hip-hop tracks were surprising too. The AI rappers had flow patterns that made sense for the style, and the beats were contemporary sounding. The lyrics followed typical hip-hop conventions while incorporating my prompt details. Even niche genres like lo-fi jazz or synthwave came out sounding authentic to those styles. It's clear that Suno's model has been trained on a vast array of musical genres and understands the distinguishing characteristics of each. I've been particularly impressed with how Suno handles genre-specific instrumentation. Ask for a reggae track, and you'll get the characteristic offbeat guitar chops and prominent bass. Request a metal song, and you'll hear palm-muted power chords and double bass drums. The attention to these genre-specific details is what makes the results so convincing. What excites me most about Suno isn't just how good it sounds, it's the creative possibilities it opens up. As creators, we can now generate backing tracks for YouTube videos in minutes instead of spending hours browsing stock music libraries. Filmmakers can quickly create custom soundtrack pieces that perfectly match their scenes. Musicians can use it for inspiration. Maybe you're stuck on a chord progression or melody idea. Generate a few tracks in Suno, and you might find something that sparks your creativity. Songwriters can experiment with different arrangements of their lyrics without needing to play instruments. I've even seen people using Suno to create custom birthday songs for friends and family, which is an amazing personalized gift that would have been impossible or extremely expensive before. The educational potential is fascinating too. Music teachers can quickly generate examples of different genres or compositional techniques to share with students. Someone learning about music production can study how different elements work together in a mix without needing to create everything from scratch. For content creators, the value is obvious. Need a quick jingle for your intro? Want background music that perfectly matches the mood of your video? Suno can create it in minutes, and since the music is original, you don't have to worry about copyright claims. Let me share some practical ways I've been using Suno in my own work. For this channel, I've started generating custom background music for different segments of my videos. Rather than using the same generic track for every video, I can now have music that specifically complements what I'm talking about. For a recent video about productivity tools, I generated an upbeat, motivational electronic track with a driving beat that added energy to the segment. For a more reflective piece about digital mindfulness, I created a calm, ambient piece that set the right tone without being distracting. I've also been experimenting with using Suno for podcast intros and transitions. Having unique music for different segments helps give the show a more professional feel and helps listeners recognize different recurring sections. Some of my friends in video production have started using Suno for rough cuts and temp tracks. When editing videos, they often need temporary music to get a feel for timing and pacing before commissioning or licensing the final soundtrack. Suno allows them to quickly generate something that matches the intended mood exactly, making the editing process much smoother. Of course, Suno isn't perfect. There are still some telltale signs that the music is AI generated. The songs generally follow fairly conventional structures. You won't get experimental 10-minute progressive rock epics with multiple time signature changes. The vocals, while impressive, occasionally have unusual pronunciations or slightly robotic moments, especially on certain vowel sounds or sustained notes. And if you listen carefully to multiple generations, you'll start to notice some repeating patterns in how it structures chord progressions or melody lines. There's also the limitation of song length. Currently, Suno generates songs that are typically between 1 to 2 minutes long. That's perfect for many use cases like social media content, but not ideal if you're looking for full-length commercial tracks. The lyrics can sometimes be a bit generic or contain awkward phrasings. The AI understands the theme you request, but doesn't have the nuanced wordplay or deep metaphorical thinking of the best human lyricists. If you're looking for profound poetry in your lyrics, you might be disappointed. The free tier has daily generation limits, which is understandable, but can be frustrating when you're on a creative roll. And of course, there are the broader ethical questions about AI-generated music that the industry is still grappling with. Despite these limitations, what Suno can produce is still remarkable, especially considering that this technology is still in its relative infancy. And this is where things start to get even more exciting. Because while the tech is already impressive, what really matters is how people are using it creatively. The Suno community is starting to explode with unique use cases. There are Reddit threads, Discord groups, and entire YouTube channels now dedicated to showcasing the best prompts, clever hacks, and creative experiments. I saw one user generate an entire fake album with cohesive style, artwork, and fictional artist persona, all using AI tools like Suno, Midjourney, and ChatGPT. It wasn't just a song, it was an immersive world. And the wild part, it sounded legit. Others are using Suno to recreate specific scenes, like a breakup scene from a movie, and generating a matching soundtrack for it. People are writing fictional musicals with full cast lists and storylines, and using AI to bring them to life. Teachers are assigning students creative writing projects where they generate a song based on the story they write. We're starting to see creators mix Suno with other tools too, like using Suno for vocals and instrumentals, then bringing it into a DAW to add extra production, human vocals, or mastering touches, or combining Suno-generated music with visuals made in Runway, sound design from 11 Labs, and narration written with Claude. The future of content creation isn't just faster, it's hybrid, where AI handles the heavy lifting and creators add the polish, taste, and soul. It's not about AI replacing us, it's about leveling up what's possible. We're not far off from being able to say, I want a full album in the style of Bon Iver, but about astronauts discovering ancient ruins on Mars. And 10 minutes later, you have it. With cover art, liner notes, track list, a consistent sonic identity, all AI assisted, the same way Canva gave people design power and Descript gave people editing power. Suno is giving us musical power. And that's why this isn't just a fun toy, it's a shift. So if you've been on the fence about trying Suno, or if you just assumed it was like every other gimmicky AI generator, I hope this helped you see the bigger picture. We are entering an era where creativity is no longer bottlenecked by tools, skills, or gatekeepers. If you have an idea, you can now bring it to life. Fast, cheap, at scale. And that changes everything. So go experiment. Type something crazy. See what comes out. Use the free tier to try something outside your comfort zone. You never know what'll surprise you. Because in the age of AI-powered creation, the only limit is your imagination.